Hey, thank you so much for hanging out. It is Other News. I am your host, Mike Russell. Sorry, a little late for the jump. Just got done hanging out with our buddies Val and Greg, and what a cool thing! Kind of introducing myself internationally, as they have a pretty wide ranging audience. They're all over the world, global, going worldwide. But appreciate you hanging out with me. Yes, it is 9/11. Yes, there was a debate. We are going to get to all of that, but in a way that you are not going to hear on the mainstream media. That's why this is In Other News. I appreciate you being here. This is a day where I was like, and I'm not kidding. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to just come full bore here, and I want you to really understand who I am, because I'm not going to hide from you. If this makes you feel differently about me, or it makes you judge, or if you agree, whatever it is. What's up, Rhonda? Whatever it is, I forgot it was 9/11. I did. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh. I think last night I was reminded as I saw Biden say this little clip of Biden leaving the White House, and he said, "I'm going to go do 9/11." That's how you do it. Do 9/11. And you know what? I am not at all offended by him saying that. I am not offended by Joe Biden saying, "I'm going to go do 9/11." Y'all, it's been 23 years. There's no way you and I can forget. No way you and I can forget. We all know where we were. We all know how we felt. We all know what 9/11 means to us, all of us. We have shared it with our children as they learned about it in school. We've shared that we will share it with our grandchildren as they learn about it. Maybe, potentially, you never know these days, but they might learn about it in school. Maybe. But when I wake up and I'm like, oh man, or if I'm going into work or something, I think, oh man, it's 9/11. I forgot. I didn't put out the flag. I didn't, oh my gosh, people are going to judge me. I don't think so. I want you to commemorate, remember 9/11 whenever, on whatever day you want to and however you want to do it. If you want to be like President Biden said, I'm going to go do 9/11, fine, go get right on. Because above what I saw last night in the horrific debate that I saw last night, and how off-putting that was, I saw this morning the disgusting spectacle that 9/11 has turned into. And especially during a campaign year, good Lord, they had to erect an entire tent just for grandstanding politicians to stand there for their photo op. Did you see me? I was standing next to Kamala Harris. Did you see me? I was over here next to Donald Trump. Everybody out there, smiles on their faces. Ooh, the headline of 9/11, by the way, the headline this morning, the headline was what? Kamala Harris and Donald Trump shake hands. I guess after 23 years, we're just like, okay, guys. All right. Well, yep. We got it. It was a terror attack and we lost 3,000 people. And well, okay. It's just a photo op now. It's just a political event now. And it's disgusting. So again, I'm encouraging you, and I'm not going to stay on 9/11 here, but I'm encouraging you. And yes, they shook hands like adults. Did you notice though? I actually study body language quite a bit. No, I'm not an expert on body language. I just like it fascinates me on how people hold their hands, how people use their hands, how they're standing, how they're speaking. It's fascinating. Did you see when Donald shook Kamala's hand? I'm trying so hard not to call her Hillary, crying out loud. When he shook her hand, he grabbed the hand. You could tell it was forceful. And then he did this. Yank, this little tiny, just like half-inch little and then he put his hand over the other side of her hand and he smiled. That is squeeze, dominance, pull, dominance. Other side of the hand, we're good. How you doing? Whew. There was a lot in that handshake, but it shouldn't take away from where they are standing at ground zero, right? Yeah. This is and unfortunately, you're right, Jim. Everybody turns everything into a photo op. All the politicians turn it all into a photo op. It's like It's like influencers in the wild. It's like seeing an Instagram boyfriend. It's the most pathetic thing ever. Y'all know what I'm talking about with an Instagram boyfriend. There's nothing more neutering. There's nothing more eye-rolling than a politician at Ground Zero on 9/11. Rudy Giuliani should be down there. There should be probably two governors, two former New York governors that should be there. Kathy Hochul should be there, whether they like it or not. She should be there. The president of the United States and the vice president should be there. Maybe former presidents. W should definitely be there. Those are the ones I'm going to give passes to. Rummy should be there. I mean, those involved, hell yeah, be down there. Because Rhonda, you're going to come with me on this. I as much as I hate the Yankees, there was no better. Oh yeah, you're a D-backs fan. No better moment in baseball, in history of baseball, than W going out and throwing the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Nothing. I mean, how cool was that? Yeah. What is happening? You got to figure out how to change your name. Yeah, somebody could. we need a Google search stat. Yes, because Ronnie coming in on a Yahoo address. On a positive thing, we on a positive note, we know your email address. We can email you. Say hi. That's really it. Because politicians and idiots have made 9/11 what it is, and y'all know my feelings on what it led to with the Patriot Act and the largest fleecing of our civil liberties in our nation's history. Do what you do with it. Do 9/11. That's fine. Do 9/11. It's okay. I see. I don't know if I can do that though. Well, it's not. It's just us. I mean, thank goodness it's us. But I don't think I can. I would have to block you if that's the case. So just roll in there and see how you just or log off, come back on, change it up or whatever. It's all good, dude. He didn't want his email address being public, but that's all it was his email address. But hey, do 9/11 the way you do 9/11. Okay. Don't be embarrassed of it. Don't be embarrassed if you forgot something or if you forgot to do whatever. Just do it how you do it. And that's really all I have to say on that. And I'm not, because again, it's been 23 years and I'm not going to sit here and let some, Ahmed McSlappy terrorist out in some cave somewhere with popcorn watching us cry again. I'm not going to do it. We're Americans, damn it. We are. We just are. That's right, Gray. Threw in a high heater. That's what he said. It's a fun story. If you can watch the 30 for 30 on that event, you please do. It really is worth a watch. It's entertaining. It's heartwarming almost. So I think I definitely think you'll enjoy it. Okay, fine. There was a debate. I got to be honest with you guys, as I always am. I turned it off. I turned it back on because I just guilt-ridden. But I turned it off. I think it was the second time Muir fact-checked Donald Trump. And I'm like, I don't want to watch it. This is gross. This whole thing is gross. And no, Kamala didn't have earpiece earrings in. Those are out of Tiffany. Please don't jump on that train. But I did turn it back on. And I did get the kind of oogies, the kind of that was just not good. Oh, I was like, okay, fine, I'll turn it back on. Is there a car chase anywhere? Is there any news there? Helicopter chasing a high-speed chase? That's my jam. I'd rather watch that any day of the week. Or tennis. Can I tell you this? I watch tennis. I've never played. I played, maybe recreational, tried to a few times. I'm terrible at it. I'm horrible at it. I cannot skim through the channels, see tennis, and not stop and watch tennis. I don't know why. And it did. The debate was awful. It just really was. For those that don't consume news like we do, it looked like, and I think a large portion of this country that don't understand really what was going on there thought Kamala won. And thought Kamala won because she was prepared. I wonder how she was prepared. She was prepared. She was never challenged. She was never fact-checked. We're going to do that here on the show today. But she was never fact-checked. One of the fallout, I think, for Donald Trump was he was aggressive. He was thrown off a couple of times. Sometimes he lost his train of thought. And my only response to that is because it was 3-on-1. I mean, he was in a ring fighting 3 people at one time. That would get me fired up. That would get me jacked up. And for those that know, are going to vote Donald Trump, period. For those that understand what really went on there, don't want a country like that anymore. They want Donald Trump to win. They want him for nothing else because of that. But I mean, he was getting fired up. There was no dancing around and, kind of getting in, doing this kind of thing, and, kind of feeling out, a little kind of jab here and there. Dude was just throwing punches. He had to. He's getting his butt kicked. He was getting attacked from all sides. It was like Krav Maga out there. You guys know what Krav Maga is? That, the Israeli fighting is anything. Because my joke is, it's not Krav Maga, it's Krav Maga. Everybody, Krav Maga. Okay. Krav is the greatest martial art in the world. Krav Maga. Mm-hmm. Yes, I am, Greg, doing my 3rd show. I'm this year. Set a jumper kick with Puerto Rican. Stop it, Craig. That's funny. More to come on that show. We're going to have a lot of fun. Wednesdays are going to be absolutely off the rails as we move forward. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, he was in there absolutely in the ring, 3-on-1, absurd. And something that I haven't seen. Again, one of the things is we talk about things that mainstream are going to talk about. Hopefully you didn't notice that I did, and I can say, I noticed you didn't. Have you ever watched a debate where the one commercial break of the debate, in the middle of that spot block is what we call them, in the middle of that commercial break, was a commercial for the moderator? Never seen that before. God bless the Trump campaign for having actual ads purchased in that time. Great job. Well planned. But ABC had a David Muir, commercial right in the middle of it. You see it? He was in the chopper. He's like totally flexing. He had his arm flexed, and it was just like, David Muir, the most trusted evening news in the country. They had to, see you, Greg, they had to hype up their man because their man was acting like a complete D-bag. I mean, he took the word of a city manager. I haven't even looked up who this city manager is because it's not worth my time typing. The city manager that says, city manager said there's no credible evidence that there's Haitian migrants taking pets. Yeah, there is. I have the video. Y'all want to see the video? The video's there. Video evidence is all over the place. I mean, all over the place. I just haven't turned a couple of the pictures that I have of newscasts. I haven't turned them into, I haven't turned them in. You have to turn them into PDFs to put them in here. So it's a pain in the butt. Anyway. The fact checks I turned off. I was like, I'm done. And then I came back, left, came back. These are my takeaways. These are my takeaways from the debate. Obviously, oh, you want to see the video? Let me see. Hold on a second. Hold on, Greg. So let's see it. Well, hold on. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Lynn said he wanted to see it. Let me see if I can pull it up. So the fact check was that there was absolutely nothing. Here we go. There was absolutely no evidence, says the city manager, of people taking cats and eating them. I give you in just a moment, because of course I have to go find it now on my computer. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It was a Benny Johnson clip that I saw. I wish I could pull it right off of my desktop, but I apparently I can't. So anyway, we're gonna go. There's plenty of evidence. Here we go. For the love of grief. What
did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this.
Yeah, let's see the blood.
Did you eat that cat?
Look at that blood now.
Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with it,
Did you see her eating it?
eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah.
She was.
You call the Humane Society, see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
But I'm glad the city manager. I would say, don't be sorry, be prepared. Nice, thanks, Lynn. The city manager claims, according to Mr. Muir of ABC News, said that there's no evidence of that, except his police body cams, except for countless pictures. There's actually a kid that was, I think, 17-year-old that was just let out of jail because he was arrested for taking a swan and cooking it and eating it. And apparently it was a famous swan in the park. And he just took it and ate it. And I have video of him just rolling out of court, smiling. Yeah, no evidence of this at all. Yeah. So there is a absolute bias. We know it. Do you understand this? ABC is run by a woman. The CEO of ABC is run by a woman that introduced Kamala Harris to her husband. I'm not kidding. Not kidding. The CEO of ABC, the president, excuse me, of ABC News, introduced Kamala Harris to her hubbies. The second gentleman. If that guy becomes the first gentleman, I mean, seriously. We've had such powerful presidents. We really have, except for Biden, and Obama's kind of a soy boy. But I mean, look, I mean, we have a soy boy in the White House. I don't even know what to do with myself. That's right, Brennan. Not a joke. It's not a joke. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to all this nonsense from last night. One of the things that was really off-putting to me was the Second Amendment. So when we start talking about gun confiscation, this was a wonderful video that was put together. Check it out.
Taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on a second. I want to get to the very beginning of that again. Here.
this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
I support buybacks, and it's something I'm
Okay, so last night she said, don't you dare stop this gun confiscation.
so passionate about and so looking forward to being president to address. We've got to deal with this.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
Stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
It's mandatory. How mandatory is this? Mandatory. Stop it with this gun buyback stuff. The woman, and I don't believe that either, Ron. I don't believe she owns a gun. I don't believe she owns a gun. And I know her soy boy husband does not own a firearm. That's scary. There's no way he does. That guy, okay. Be very clear in this. A mandatory gun buyback program in this country will not happen. Buy back better. I love that. Solid, Brendan. It won't happen. It's just not going to happen. It might be, somebody might vote for it. Somebody might. Congress might pass it. She might sign it. Good luck at enforcing it. That's when probably the worst thing will happen in our country at that moment. The Democrats could get caught red-handed cheating. They could get caught red-handed again cheating. They don't have a pandemic to use this time, but we'll see what they come up with, because they're going to come up with something, and it won't start problems like a gun confiscation program would. So, yeah. So why buy them? Here's the deal: Lynn, because the thought that buyback implies that the government owns your firearm before you did, that you bought it from the government. It's kind of an overarching theme that the government feels everything is yours. Whatever you have, they've allowed you to have. It's one step towards socialism. God bless Donald Trump last night for calling out to something that not a lot of people know, that Kamala Harris is a true Marxist, that her dad taught Marxism at a university. I forget which one. Her father was a professor of Marxism. And I said, you taught her well. No, he taught you well. Yeah. That's the truth. And she's a descendant of slave owners. Like, she is literally the worst candidate you could possibly put up there. That's why she never received a vote. She didn't win one delegate running for president. Not one. Oh, was it Stanford, bud? Okay, yeah. That's not surprising. I actually, it'd only be less surprising if it was Berkeley. The People's Republic of Berkeley. Yeah. Yeah. Stanford. Yeah. Do you believe I was accepted there? They had low standards in the early 90s. In the early 90s, very, very low standards. But let's get back to the absolute nonsense of last night. That was obviously one of her biggest lies, not even pushed by David Muir, not even pushed by whatever her name was. The ABC moderators were just not going to say, excuse me, Madam Vice President, you they've been calling for a mandatory buyback program for months now. Why are you saying he's lying? And then I applaud Trump. For clarifying the first time about Project 2025. And then she had it's not audacity. She just doesn't have the mental capability not to. She brings up Project 2025 again. Project 2025 is something even back in Rob and I's days, we were screaming, had nothing to do with Donald Trump. And he didn't like Donald Trump. But he sure as hell didn't like the fact that they were pinning something that wasn't his to him. 2025 doesn't exist. Here's actually the guy that came up with 2025.
You know, the breaking news is Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025. Sure, a lot of us have worked in the admin and came together, but this started long before he even announced for president.
Sure, some of them worked in the admin and they came up with it, but it started long before he announced for president. That is the guy who came up with, that's Paul Dans, who came up with Project 2025.
You know, the breaking news is Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025. Sure, a lot of us have worked in the admin and came together, but this started long before he even announced for president.
That's all you need to know, y'all. And twice, that wacko, the vice president, brought up 2025. What is it? Environmental? What do you say, Jim, about People's Republic of Berkeley having all those environmental extremists and one of the worst San Francisco? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, my man. Hey, by the way, side note, can I just get into that real quick? I know we're gonna get back to the debate. I know, squirrel. That's why I have one right there and my hat. This is environmental nonsense. Is, you know, it's teaching in schools. They're teaching this, environmental, that, environment, green. Oh, Jilly, John, your dad, he drives an F-150. It's his fault. That is my movie voice. Why then? And I'm sure you've seen it around your area. Have y'all seen a car line to pick up kids at school? Y'all seen that? Here, school gets out at there's an elementary school right up the road from my house. There's a few of them actually. They release about 2:30. I think 2:35 is the release. By 2:00, you have at about a quarter-mile line, sometimes in some spots doubled up, of parents waiting to get their little Timmy or the little Jilly idling for a half hour. So that's one school times how many? Times how many states? That is probably the biggest environmental. You tell me that that I eat beef and that cow farts are what's wrecking the environment? We're going to get to the environment a little bit too, but I'm telling you, good Lord. Yeah, stop this fossil fuels and this and that. Then, hey, teachers, the ones that are telling my kids that they have to go green, why don't you step out there and say, why don't you guys go back home and come back when the kids actually get out of school? How about that? Or make your kids take the bus like us. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Arrow, look, Don was taking on, Arrow said that Donald J. Trump should knock out Kamala, in the first round, but it sucked. Look, it was 1-on-3, dude. He was taking on 3 people debating him. And it was absolutely embarrassing. It completely was. It was so embarrassing that was the case. All right, let's get back to the debate. Let's take a look at what we
and saying on Truth Social just yesterday.
This is a post speech with one of Trump's surrogates. Now check this out. This is probably the best takedown of election interference and weaponization I have seen. And I would like y'all to enjoy this. We'll just let it play.
Trump has been saying on Truth Social just yesterday or a couple days ago that
CBS
he wants to prosecute people that are acting nefariously in the election, already casting doubt about this election and still refusing to accept the results of the last election. Why?
Well, I mean, first of all, the premise of that question sort of presupposes that certain people are okay with people breaking election law. And I don't really think that's the case. If people break election law, they should be prosecuted. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
They are prosecuted.
Certainly. So why is this such a controversial thing? It's something that we should all agree on.
But talking.
Point Trump camp right there. So why is it? Yeah, okay, they're prosecuted. Okay, so then why is that a controversial issue that he said he wants to prosecute people that cheated?
About extending it to legal, other legal teams.
Yeah, legal teams. That's the law. That's how you prosecute somebody. Legal, sweetie. You're just flailing because this dude just slapped you on national TV.
To donors, it suggested the idea of prosecuting political opponents.
Here we go.
If you're going to ask a question about someone prosecuting political opponents,
get them,
and don't mention that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's Department of Justice are currently, at this moment, prosecuting Donald Trump, then it's not an honest and forthright conversation. They are currently, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Department of Justice are currently engaged in a prosecution that could end up with them trying to sentence Donald Trump to jail. The way you ask that question, it's though that's not even happening.
Right.
But it is happening.
It is.
And I think once you arrive at the conclusion that none of these charges
Those are
would
not
have
directives of the Justice Department.
Here we go.
Who is in charge of
Ready? Here comes the civics lesson. I love this. I almost feel sorry for the I'm not going to say. Yep, the stupidity of this woman that she's a news anchor for CBS. For the love of grief, she has a position in the media. And she's trying so hard to stick to the lines that her boss handed her that this guy is now going to give her a civics lesson.
The Justice Department is an executive branch agency.
Yep.
Who leads the executive branch? Who appoints the Attorney General? The Attorney General is not part of the Constitution as some sort of independent officer. The Attorney General is a member of the executive branch over which Joe Biden and Kamala Harris preside. That's inescapable.
But what happened was, there's nothing wrong with that. This is a good old-fashioned takedown right there. And I love that because that guy is speaking. I'm sorry. I love that. There is probably no better evidence that the dam is cracked here and that people are starting to see this. Okay, so let's get to this. All right, I'm down. Let's play. Anyone else think that Harris got the questions? 1 bazillion %. But the questions to me, she got the topics. The questions didn't seem like you needed to see something. What's up, Jose? How you doing, man? I don't think the questions were something that were okay, I need to know the questions. It was here's the order of the topics. Because she was never in her vice presidency, at least, was she ever so prepared for the actual order of things, and she wasn't thrown off. The coaching, I think, was one of the worst parts of this deal. Did you see that when she did this whole thing? Did you see that? That was so scripted. Sorry, when he starts talking like this, do this. Brilliant. It was, but it was so obvious. It was just so because she can't deliver. She just can't. And again, Donald Trump was Donald Trump. Donald Trump was Donald Trump because he had to fight off 3 people at a time. What I was most upset about, and forget about the whole the gun things, the dog things. There literally are, like I said, cats and dogs being taken. Oh my gosh, Patrick. Okay, so where do you want to go with that? Let's go with that. I have no problem with this. Again, we see another reason for Republicans to never do a mainstream debate again. You can only do, if you have to have a debate, you can only go so far in the middle because the other side is telling you no. Did you notice that Kamala's podium was at least 6 inches shorter than Donald Trump's? because they wouldn't allow. The funny thing, the Trump team's like, no, you don't get a stool. You can't stand on a stump. No, because height is perceived strength. That's nature. Height is perceived strength. So they didn't want her to look. They wanted the optical illusion when the camera's pulled back, the optical illusion that she's about this on par in height with him. But no, her podium was just for a widow. Well, just a widow guy. Yeah, this is a tiny one. She did. I caught that. She did start to cackle once, Lynn. I did. She's like, if the earrings were for anything, it was a zapper when she started to cackle. Oh, I did. Look in George stuffing envelopes should be. The fact that he still has a job after his election violations with Hillary is shocking to me. It just shows you the deep state has their people in the media, and it is what it is. Yeah, right, Patrick. Her demeanor. Look, but I will tell you though, her demeanor. What group of Americans punked Trump in the last election? Independent white women. Just right over there. She was pining to that bait. Her expressions were to seem reasonable as like a kind of a frustrated mom. Like looking at Donald Trump and going like, who's this guy? Like, hey, huh? Who's this guy? It was well thought out, well planned. And I would tell you this. Again, we talk like grown-ups here. It was well executed. And you're right, Jose. She is one of the most unlikable people in the planet. She's a worse candidate than Hillary. At least they punked Bernie. Built the burn. They punked Bernie, but Hillary at least got some votes. Hillary at least won some delegates. She had a primary. You know, part of we the people voted for Hillary. Kamala is so bad, they wouldn't even allow that to happen. They used Joe as a sacrificial lamb and let him get the votes, and then they what's the whole threat to democracy thing? Yeah. She does make Hillary look nice, but let's be honest with you. If I had to have a drink with one of them, ain't gonna be Hills. I kid just because I like cackling and loud laughs. What? I do like loud laughs. I was Rob's co-host for 4 years. He has a beautiful laugh. But yes, it's not a cackle. Let's get to the final part of the debate where I was just like, okay, this is enough, guys. Enough. And she said, the moderator said, there is no state where it is illegal to abort whatever, end of term abortion. There's no state. And went right, just moved on, cut his mic off and moved on. People, I don't like talking about abortion on the show. You know I don't. I didn't like talking about it on the Bromance. I didn't like talking about it on Russell and Hunter. I just don't like talking about it. It's not a topic. It's a non-winnable debate. Let's put it that way. Willie and Montel loved it. Yep, Fred, you darn right. But when it comes to this, y'all, it's not abortion. And Donald Trump was right. It's not. And so what was talked about was being to talk about, Jose, we did talk a little bit about the cat eating migrants. They quite literally are. There's more evidence than you could imagine. And they went with the city manager of Springfield, Ohio, that said, no, I don't have any evidence of that. Mm-hmm. It's all good, buddy. No, dude, don't keep coming at you. It don't matter, buddy. It's all good. So so with this abortion thing, he was shut down. And not only is it legal in states, and I do have the audio. I have to take way too long to find the dang thing, but I do remember the audio of the former governor of, I believe it's Virginia, that said, okay, so in that situation, what we would do is we'd set the baby aside, we'd keep it comfortable, and we would decide what to do. That's truth. That's truth. And I agree. Let the state's people vote in or out. I believe that 100%, Jim. I really, really do. It's legal in Minnesota. Ron, I'm not denying that at all. I believe it is. Cat lives matter. Duck lives matter. I love you guys. But let's get to this. How about when you said right there in Minnesota, Ron? How about this? I actually have this. I shall add to stage. Here we are. Hello. There we go. Oh, crikey. It came up small. Okay. Well, what I can do is put on my glasses and I can make this happen for you guys. Let's read it, shall we? It is the Born Alive Infants Protection Act report from Minnesota. Okay. Where it is Minnesota legislature enacted this recognizing a born alive infant. That's birth. That's born alive infant. Born alive. Okay. From an induced abortion, not an induced abortion. It's actually a birth at that point, in my opinion. As a human person, required that reasonable measures consistent with good medical practice shall be taken by the responsible medical personnel to preserve the life and health of the born alive infant. So what it is. Here we go. Here's the report. In calendar year 2021, 5 abortion procedures resulting in born alive infant were reported. Okay, that's just reported. Okay, I'm reading from what's here on your screen. I don't know if you guys can catch it. If not, we'll just go. Anyway, 5 that were reported. That's the only ones that were reported. Can guarantee you those weren't the only that happened. Okay, and so Brendan. Anyway, so thank you, Rhonda, for regulating that. So the 5 that were reported. How about this? 1 instance. Fetal anomalies were reported resulting in death shortly after delivery. No measures were taken to preserve life and reported the infant did not survive. 2 instances, only 2 of the 5, comfort care measures were provided. Only 2 comfort care measures were provided, and magically, the infants didn't make it. In 2 instances, the infants were determined to be pre-viable, so no measures were taken to preserve life, and infants did not survive. I'm just, look, I don't want to get into an abortion debate. I just have to call shenanigans here. I just have to call shenanigans because this is obnoxious. To say that it's not happening, to say that even in Minnesota with Tim Walz, to say that it doesn't happen is not legal, to get to this point where you are aborting a live infant, it comes out alive. You are in the 3rd trimester. You are to say it's not happening is just insulting to America. I'd say that. Yeah. Ooh, speaking of the Kamala emoji, there's going to be the iPhone 6. The 16, sorry. Not talking about my phone. iPhone 6. The iPhone 16, you can actually customize your emojis. We're going to see what happens with the gun emoji. Because if I can truly customize emojis, I'm putting my entire line up there. You're going to see an AR, you're going to see an AK, you're going to see 9mm, you're going to see a 1911. Yeah, I'm going to customize the hell out of my emojis. Yeah. Remember when they all got rid of them? All of them did. All of them got rid of it. I think I posted it on our Twitter account. All of them got rid of them. Except for X. And X brought back the real gun, the 1911, the sexiest gun ever made. I do not own a 1911 because it just doesn't feel, it's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable firearm to me. But it is the sexiest gun ever made. Oh, so magical. I'm telling you. Oh, you guys. Over here, it's a family show. It's a family show. Family-ish show. But anyway, that's my take on the debate. Going back to the migrants, though, when they talk about the kitties and the kitty cats and this, it's even worse. Listen to this.
Information, see what we can do, but like I said, can you please collect the information?
Yeah, these people were just robbed by migrants in Aurora, Colorado. They were just robbed by migrants. Here we go. Oh shoot, here we go.
Information, see what we can do, but like I said, can you please collect the information?
He said that he's already illegal. He already said that he went to.
Okay, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. First off, we're a sanctuary city. Even if he is legal here, we cannot call ICE.
Okay, but you still have to report that, right?
No, we don't. Because it's a sanctuary city.
Sanctuary city.
Illegal, undocumented.
So you're going to let a person who went to prison, he committed a crime in America, who's illegal right now, you're going to let him go free right now to this elevator?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because we're a sanctuary city. I've arrested a double homicide suspect in this city before and let him walk out the door because we're a sanctuary city. We're not going to call ICE to come pick him up and deport him.
He came to pick up $320,000 from him or mine grandmother and grandfather, and he's walking away freely right now, right? That's what I'm understanding right now.
I understand that, but you're asking me to call ICE or the...
I'm not asking you to call ICE. We're just asking you to take seriously that he's trying to repeat offend when he's already illegal.
He flew
repeating
from
what
New
he's
York.
already been doing.
He said, I'm in Chinatown in New York. They paid for his...
Yeah. We're Sanctuary City. Sorry, guys. We're Sanctuary City. Oh, yeah. We know that migrant just brought Dexter the Goose up from the park. Yeah, he's going to cut him. We just decapitated him. Sorry, we're Sanctuary City. Can't do anything to him. The migrant crisis is I just spent an hour talking to Greg and Val on their program about the reality, because the majority of their audience is outside of Arizona. I was giving them the reality of the migrant crisis. Why are we calling it a migrant crisis? They aren't migrants. Good Lord. Just call them what they are. Illegal alien crisis. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, dude, come on. There we go. There you go. You're darn right. And they walk. It is the way of things. It is seriously the way of things. So I want to play something because it's 9/11. I forgot I had this. And I think it's kind of cool. I'm going to play a TV interview. Donald Trump was on the phone. This is back, 9/11 when he was just Donald Trump. 15 years before, he did what he did, became the president of the United States. I want you to hear Donald Trump talk. And some people would take this and say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. This is Trump proving that it was an inside job. None of that. That's not why I'm playing this for you. I want you to hear Donald Trump on 9/11 being asked about this. I want you to hear his words. I want you to hear how he talks as Donald Trump. Just listen. This is Donald Trump in 2001. Take a listen.
There's a great deal of question about whether or not the damage and the ultimate destruction of the buildings was caused by the airplanes, by architectural defect, or possibly by bombs or aftershocks. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Okay. That is one hell of a question that in his today presidential life would be seen as a aha question. We're going to get the Don. Watch. He's going to talk about it being an inside job. He's going to say it was we're at Don's conspiracy theories. Now listen to how he plays this.
Well, it was an architectural defect. The World Trade Center was always known as a very, very strong building. Don't forget, that took a big bomb in the basement. Now, the basement is the most vulnerable place because that's your foundation. And it withstood that. And I got to see that area about 3 or 4 days after it took place, because one of my structural engineers actually took me for a tour because he did the building. And I said, I can't believe it. The building was standing solid and half of the columns were blown out. So this was an unbelievably powerful building. If you know anything about structure, it was one of the first buildings that was built from the outside. The steel, the reason the World Trade Center had such narrow windows is that in between all the windows, you had the steel on the outside. So you had the steel on the outside of the building. That's why when I first looked, and you had big, heavy I-beams, when I first looked at it, I couldn't believe it because there was a hole in the steel. And this is steel that was, you remember the width of the windows in the World Trade Center, folks. I think if you were ever up there, they were quite narrow. And in between was this heavy steel. I said, how could a plane, even a 767 or 747, or whatever it might have been, how could it possibly go through the steel?
Okay. So right there and be like, oh, Donald Trump's a conspiracy theorist saying it's an inside job. Not where we're going. Pay attention.
I happen to think that they had not only a plane, but they had bombs that exploded almost simultaneously, because I just can't imagine anything being able to go through that wall. Most buildings are built with the steel is on the inside around the elevator shaft. This one was built from the outside, which is the strongest structure you can have.
Yeah.
And it was almost just like a can of soup.
Donald, we were looking at pictures all morning long of that plane coming into building number 2. And when you see that approach the far side, and then all of a sudden, within a matter of a millisecond, the explosion pops out the other side.
Right. I just think that it was a plane with more than just fuel. I think, obviously, they were very big planes. They were going very rapidly, because I was also watching where the plane seemed to be not only going fast, it seemed to be coming down into the building. So it was getting the speed from going downhill, so to speak. It just seemed to me that to do that kind of destruction is even more than a big plane, because you're talking about taking out steel, the heaviest caliber steel that was used on a building. These buildings were rock solid. And, it's just an amazing thing. This country is different today, And it's going to be different than it ever was for many years to come.
That's Donald Trump on 9/11. And so the reason why I bring this up is because one of Donald Trump's superpowers is seeing things from a different angle and asking questions about it. If Donald Trump were to say those things today, and simply what he said was, those were the strongest buildings we have in this nation, for them to fall like he said, a can of soup, something else had to be going on. I think there were bombs on the plane. I think the terrorists rigged the plane with bombs. That's the only thing that could have done that, is a simultaneous explosion on impact. Seems legit to me. I never even thought of that. I've never even thought of that. And when I pride myself on being able to look at things from a different angle. That's a hell of a thought. But today, Donald Trump would be lambasted for that. As an inside, you're a flat earther, you're a climate denier, you're terrible, you can't believe it, conspiracy theory. Everything that's a question is a conspiracy theory. So when Donald Trump brings up on the fly, I mean, that was real time. It was happening that day to his city. That was going down, and he was like, look, man, I saw those. I saw those things. Those things are crazy. Those things are crazy strong. And then to say, something else had to have been happening. Something else. Yes. A report short documentary, the guy in the red bandana, young dude, former college lacrosse player, everything going for him. All right, let me see here. Oh, that's cool, man. All right, hold on. Let's give you a little hype here. Former college lacrosse player, had everything going for him. The guy in the red bandana, huh? Okay. All right, so we got that. Let's go back to this here. Here we go. Ran back and forth. We helped people initially knew him as the guy in the red bandana. Over his face, sadly, he didn't make it out after helping so many others. Man, it's terrible. It's heroic. It's amazing. It's amazing. The guy in the red bandana. Do we know the guy's name? I mean, we got to honor that cat. That's for sure. Yeah. And too many heroes that day. I mean, so many. Excuse me, Jim. Yes, so many heroes that day. And they should all be honored. And they have been honored, and they continue to be honored. Again, and I hope I at least give my friends, family, I help them with the permission of honor, remember, respect, whatever this day, how you do. Again, because I'm not going to bash on Joe Biden for saying I'm going to go do 9/11. To them, it's a photo op. To them, it's just it's something they have to do. It's something they don't like doing, but they do because it's part of their job. For me, sometimes I forget 9/11's coming up. Doesn't mean I wasn't in the soup. Doesn't mean I wasn't stuck in a city that couldn't come home. Doesn't mean I don't remember everything. Don't remember watching on TV, honoring the firefighters, watching Rudy do his thing. But 23 years later, y'all do what y'all do. And especially this red bandana cat, dude. I love that, man. Shoot that over to me, Brendan. That's cool as hell, man. It's way cool. I love that stuff. That's way cool. Yeah, but I'm not going to get told how I need to remember 9/11. I'm not going to get told that I should never forget. I can't forget. You can't forget. None of us can forget. Can't. We're too proud as a nation. That's why I think that we the people, my firm belief in we the people, my unwavering belief in we the people, will continue to stand as long as I remember 9/11 and 9/12 and 9/13, 9/14 and 9/15. When we all decide, we don't care what we look like. We don't care who we vote for. Y'all just sucker punch the wrong country. It is. Yeah. There was a documentary. Y'all can help me out on this because I have been trying to, the most impactful documentary I've seen on 9/11 definitely isn't the one that's shown on Masterclass with Condi and Rummy. I'm like, oh, geez. It was, I believe it was CBS. If you guys could help me out, it was a documentary. I think there were brothers. I think they were the college students or film school students that were with one of the stations, one of the fire stations. And they were doing a documentary on the fire station that day and rode with them And all right, Wells. I'm going to get that in just a second, Brendan. But they rode with him, and they were down. I mean, they have cameras on the command center at I believe is in Tower 1 or 2, but it was in the lobby where they had that, and they're filming the entire thing. College is great documentary. Ron, if we can find out what in the world, I'll try to look it up as well when the show's over. But dang, I will never forget the thung, thung, thung. Like, that's not parts of building, that's people. I never forget that. Now let's get this up here because we gotta celebrate this dude, man. Yeah. Wells, help me, Crowther. Okay. That's way cool, man. Yeah, so okay, but you posted that, so I'll definitely check it out. And yeah, that's the man in the red bandana, the hero that needs to be heroed. I hope, this is going to sound crass, but we talk like grown-ups. There was a big payout for victims of 9/11, the families. There's a big payout. It was like $1 million apiece. That's cheddar. I hope that guy's family got a piece of that. I really do. Man, it's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, ESPN made a short documentary, but ESPN is ESPN. Was it good? Was it worth watching? It's not much on ESPN that's worth watching. It really isn't worth watching. I have ESPN Plus because I got Disney, because you guys know I'm a Disney nerd. It just deal with it. You're fine. Let's do this. Let's stick with the Trump derangement syndrome while we're here. Sir Elton John was interviewed this week. I appreciate you, Lynn. Sir Elton John was interviewed this week, and you can't even go across the pond. You can't even go to other nations and not have slappy reporters trying to get any kind of celebrity to talk crap about Donald Trump. And Sir Elton handles it like the G he is.
I'm a supporter of Donald Trump's. He loves your music. How did it feel?
Wait, I know you're not a supporter of Donald Trump. He loves your music.
When he took the lyrics to Rocket Man and he used it as a nickname for Kim Jong-un, and then he gave Kim Jong-un...
This soy boy, this absolute soy boy reporter is, how did it make you feel? He took the lyrics to your song and Donald Trump used them. Oh my gosh. Listen to this G handle it the right way.
Kim Jong-un, and then he gave Kim Jong-un...
I laughed. I thought it was brilliant. I just thought, good on you, Donald. I'm the Rocket Man, yeah. Donald's always been a fan of mine, and he's been to my concerts many, many times. So, I mean, I've always been friendly towards him, and I thank him for his support. Yeah, when he did that, I just thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh.
He gave
him
Kim one of your CDs and signed it. That was in one of the books about him, because Kim, I guess, didn't know the song, so...
What's that?
He gave Kim Jong-un the signed CD.
Yes.
Which
yeah.
He'd never heard of it.
I know, because he hasn't heard of me, Kim Jong-un. I'd be very surprised if he had. I've never toured North Korea, and I have no intention of doing so. But I thought it was a light moment, and it was fun.
I know.
Okay, I apologize if that is who actually they panned out and showed the reporter. I actually think that. Ooh, yeah, I didn't mean to call you Soy Boy Holmes. I think that's his husband. I think it is. I don't know. I have to look that up. Anyway, yeah, look, Elton John is G. Here's one thing you might not know about Elton John. And this drives liberals mad. This drives liberals batty when they hear this. Because one of their crown kings, Elton John, by the way, I love me some Elton John. Damn, love those songs. Woo! Elton John was the wedding singer at El Rushbo, Rush Limbaugh's wedding. Elton John was the music act. That drives liberals crazy. They can't handle that. They don't know what to do with that. Oh, yeah, Rhonda, who wouldn't love Elton John? Dude, just his entire, forget about it. I think it's called Hot Rocks. What's it called? Hot Rocks Baines. Oh, she's not here. No. Jeez, my interns suck. Anyway, I kid. I love them. The 2-disc set, and we're Gen X, so we can say disc set. 2-disc set of the Rolling Stones #1 hits. Damn. I don't know why I was in Elton John has something similar, so I'm all about that on my Spotify thing, but damn. I listened to it for an entire summer. Rolling Stones, telling you the entire. Thanks, Steph. Appreciate you, man. Hold on. Let's get into this here. Hold on. But I'm just excited about that. But I have my glasses on. I think that's. I'm sorry. Yep. Sorry, my bad. I have my glasses on. But the entire thing is just, man. We just had music right, y'all. We just did. We had music right. I love a lot of people that say that music sounds better on vinyl. It's not the vinyl. It's just actually the music. Yeah. Who hated Rush and gave him permission to use his daily interests? Okay, yeah, all right. Uh-oh. Is lying through her teeth. Her Pinocchio nose keeps growing. Uh-oh. All right, Deb. Hey, thanks, Deb. Appreciate that. Can't be trusted. Don't fall for her lies. We didn't fall for her lies. Yeah. Exactly, Ron. It's the music. It's not the vinyl. This decompression session today is just a little off base. It just is. I would like to, if I could, expose Bill Nye the Science Guy. I saw him on CNN the other day, and a clip of him online and him on CNN. I do not watch CNN. As much as I watch Fox News, I don't watch any of that nonsense. But I saw him talking about carbon emissions. I tell you, I'm talking about carbon, the carbon footprint of every American. By the way, the average American dishes out 16 tons of carbon, I believe, every year. Taylor Swift, 8,200 last year. Just throwing it out there. She got to go through her boyfriend in the NFL. Anyway, Bill Nye is not a scientist. Not at all. Bill Nye has never been a scientist. Bill Nye will never be a scientist. Bill Nye is a comedian. Bill Nye was a comedian and a out-of-work actor when a show came along about a goofy scientist to teach kids science. He's a scientist like Al Gore. That's right. We're going to put the science in a lockbox. Hi, man. Listen, hey. Al Gore won in the end. I mean, listen, he lost the presidency with the Supreme Court. I'm telling you, he won in the end. Oh, Al's okay. Oh my gosh, he's just fine. But Bill Nye is a fraud. But it's funny that he, but the carbon thing that he keeps talking about, carbon. I'm a scientist. Carbon. I'm a scientist. What Bill forgets is that the internet never forgets. The media never forgets. We always have the Bill Nye the Science Guy episodes. So let's go. The band The Pretenders. But it says okay for using the track became Christian. And oh yeah, okay, all right. You guys going just music history on me. I love it. Here's Bill Nye.
Is a model of a carbon atom. And you say, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? It's carbon, okay? Carbon is everywhere. Carbon is in every living thing. The trees, carbon's in the trees, carbon's in the grass, carbon is in you and me. Carbon's in the cows, carbon's in that bull over there. Carbon is in the horses. Carbon is all over the place. Carbon's even in the air. Carbon is what makes life go. Go. Carbon makes the chemicals of living things. And carbon is so important. Are you listening to me? We've named a whole branch of chemistry after carbon. Organic chemistry. Organism, organic. Are you?
Yeah, by the way, the cow's farting noises in the background is so ironic.
With me? Organism, organic, okay? It's vital. It's important. That's why, I mean, don't say what's the big deal about carbon. Carbon is the key to life. You have got to respect that.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate that. Yes, and yes, Bill, Al Gore did invent the internet. I invented the internet. Yeah, of course he did. I still always kept talking about a lockbox. This was always fantastic. Do you want to hear? Okay, you want to talk music fun facts? How about this? The Monkees. You know the tall guy. I think it's Mike was his name. The tall guy didn't tour with the Monkees at the end of his career. Why? Because his parents invented whiteout. There you go. Nobody invented 3M Post-it notes. Who did it? Post-it notes were actually the dude was trying to the scientist, engineer, or whatever, was trying to get it to stick to everything. Invent something that sticks to like Gorilla Tape. He came up with that. Sticks to nothing. Makes me miss Rob. Rob actually to this day had Post-it notes all over everything. Oh, please. Mike Nesbitt. Was that his name? Hey, we're the Monkees. That was jamming. That was a wonderful show. All of them were terrible. It was probably the original Wiggles. That's really what it was. The Monkees sitcom was basically the original Wiggles. So you can try to change my mind on that one. You guys are amazing. You guys are so much fun. This has been an absolute marathon of a day. Done 3 shows. Tomorrow, if my voice stands up, we're going to keep on keeping out. We're going to do the Go Show at 11 o'clock. We'll do it right here in Other News at noon tomorrow. High noon, as Greg likes to say. It's easy to remember in the Southwest. We do things out in near the saloon at high noon. You know what I'm saying? All right. This is Another News. Thanks for playing. We'll see you tomorrow noon.